Hello everybody and welcome back to another part of the... I did it again. Welcome back to another reading of the Hyrule Historia. A little screw up here I just want to mention. We already started the thousands of years ago section in the Sky Era. This is part of the Sky Era. We're not completely done with the Sky Era yet, but we're very close. In fact, I probably could have just read the rest of this page and we would have been done, but you know, I'm a dum-dum. Okay. Let's begin. The resurrection of the Demon King Demise. The enraged Girahim kidnapped Zelda and took her through the Gate of Time. After arriving in the past, Girahim performed the ritual to resurrect the Demon King Demise. Link followed battling and defeating Girahim, but he was too late. Demise was reawakened. After an immense battle, Link defeated the demon. Upon its termination, the Demon King's hatred was absorbed and sealed in the Master Sword. The demons on the surface no longer terrorize its inhabitants. Oh goody. Don't you love happy endings? I do love this anti-Master Sword thing Demise has. I think it's really cool. The ritual. To resurrect the Demon King, his loyal follower Girahim must sacrifice Zelda, releasing the goddess Hylia's spirit. Girahim's true form is the evil spirit of Demise's sword. Oh, so he's the anti-Fi. Well, we already knew that, but still, it's cool. Okay, return to the surface. Zelda and others returned to the present time. The atmosphere was peaceful, and there was a feeling of a new beginning. Zelda resolved to live on the... Oh, come on. I hate that. I really gotta figure out what the problem is. It's probably because of this best setting. It's probably overheating my capture card. Oh, whoops. Oh, cool. So the trigger buttons can turn the pages faster. Cool. Well, I figured that by accident. I'm gonna have to scale back the recording quality just a little bit. Unfortunately, I mean, we'll see. I'll experiment. I knew doing the best would have its consequences. It seems like my capture card overheats faster when I do it that way. In which case, I'll go back to the... I'll change my video settings back to high, I guess. I don't know. It's weird because I did a much longer video with bickering gamers with Paper Mario and no problems. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just this project. Whatever, we'll see. However, the destruction of Demise... let me just start from the beginning. A return to the surface. Zelda and the others returned to the previous time. The atmosphere was peaceful, and there was a feeling of a new beginning. Zelda resolved to live on the surface and to protect the Triforce. However, the destruction of Demise was not an end of the battle. It was the beginning of the curse, a never-ending cycle of the reincarnation of the Demon King, whose hatred for those with the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero is everlasting. Basically, when Hylia got rid of Demise, you can't get rid of evil. Good cannot get rid of evil, and evil cannot get rid of good. It is a constant battle. And that's it, pretty much how what Hyrule is in a metaphor, if you want to think of it that way. History is doomed to repeat itself, and after all that, Zelda did everything she could, and balance is restored. But now, throughout all of time, a Demon King will return, whether it's Vadi or Ganondorf or anyone else like that, or Demise. It's sad. Fi's role as Link's guide is complete. The Master Sword and its Spirit Fi are returned to the resting place in the pedestal inside the statue of the goddess. Emperor returns to the past and continues to look after the Master Sword and protect it from its curse. Another thing I keep forgetting to do is I can just go left and right in the D-pad to scroll up to the top of the page. So I don't have to keep annoying you guys by doing this. I don't know if it's annoying to you guys, but it's kind of annoying to me. Many years later, the Seal of the Sacred Realm. The Kingdom of Hyrule. Created by the Golden Goddesses and protected by the goddess Hylia, the world eventually became known as Hyrule. The Hylians, descendants of Hylia, lived in Hyrule and possessed magical abilities. After years of peace, a wave of chaos once again engulfed the land, which leads us into the era of chaos and Ocarina of Time. Really? Already? I guess nothing really happened in the Minish Cap and Four Swords that I mean, that was just a big battle with Vadi, you know, the first, like the guy who wanted to bring back the Demon King and all that, you know. I guess that maybe they just want to talk about Hyrule a little bit first. I don't know. It really shows how long it's been since I last read this book. The Kingdom of Hyrule, yeah. So, Temple of Time, the only entrance to the Sacred Realm's Temple of Light. The Temple of Time shares the same name as the temple in the Lanairu Desert of the era of the goddess Hylia. It is thought that Rauru built the Temple of Time directly over the ruins of the Sealed Temple. Oh, so I was right, because I said a couple episodes that I shouldn't. I was saying that I would say that the Temple of Light and the Temple of Time, you know, was the same thing, but the fact that I don't know, whatever. I guess I was right. The Master Sword always rests in the same place. It's just people build a new building on top of it. The battle for the Sacred Realm. The legend of the supreme power spread throughout the world, whetting the appetites of those who would possess the Triforce and inciting vicious battles between them. Rauru, the Sage of Light, constructed the Temple of Time, which contained the only existing entrance to the Sacred Realm, where the Triforce was located. With powers stronger than both Time and the Master Sword, Rauru sealed the Sacred Realm. The pedestal holding the Master Sword was closed behind the Door of Time, and the keys that opened the door to the spiritual stones of Forest, Fire, and Water were protected by the respective people, which is a common thing in each timeline following Ocarina of Time. And it reminds me, I was talking like the fact that the Master Sword was outside in the open was a constant thing after Skyward Sword. I don't know. That's just me screwing up because Link to the Past is after Ocarina of Time in the defeated timeline. So I'll probably be correcting myself a lot in this read-through. I'm just going to warn you. So prepare to go on a little train ride. And yes, the spiritual stones of Forest, Fire, and Water is a common practice in some Zelda games, mainly Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker, and a lot of them, you know. Any game that involves getting that Master Sword out of the Temple of Time. The Triforce was placed in the Temple of Light located in the Sacred Realm, which, if Ganondorf defeats Link, he will go into and turn into the Dark World, which was now isolated from Hyrule. Protecting the Triforce in the Temple of Light, Rauru became the guardian of the power of the gods. Rauru, who is the owl dude that everyone wants to skip what he says, but we can't. Crests of the royal family. The goddess Hylia had a bird-like crest, and the people of Skyloft rode giant birds. The crest of the royal family incorporates the historically important bird, as well as the three triangles of the Triforce. Crest of the Kingdom of Hyrule. The establishment of Hyrule Kingdom, many years later after the era of prosperity. Yeah, they're skipping a lot here. I don't know. I guess you don't have to go through every game, you know, it's not, because, you know, sometimes the game just says it all, you know. I like that. With with this here. There's a little sneak peek of what's coming up on the next page, which I forgot again to tell you where I'm going to. I'm going up to page 92. Okay, not good, not good. I am all over the place. I've been all over the place lately. I'm sorry. I do apologize if I get a little out of order or something, or I just get a little unorganized. I just want to say that right now. Let's see. The establishment of Hyrule Kingdom. The descendants of the goddess Hylia, who was reincarnated as Princess Zelda, established the Kingdom of Hyrule and became Hyrule's royal family. In order to protect the Triforce, Hyrule Castle was built in the center of Hyrule, where the Temple of Time was located. The royal family watched over the Triforce, keeping its existence unknown to others. Many members of the royal family were born with special powers, because of the lineage that was connected them to the goddess. Princesses were repeatedly given the name Zelda, a name that came from historical legends. Ain't that convenient? So, you know, by statistics, one of them's got to be have the Triforce of Wisdom, right? The Picori, and the Light Force. The Light Force, a source of infinite power from the heavens that hold enormous power of the Force, which originally dwelled in all things. The hero of men. In the first major event to happen since the Kingdom of Hyrule was established, The world was engulfed by evil beings and shrouded in darkness. It was then that a tiny Picori descended from the sky, bringing a golden light and sword. Using the sword, the hero of men sealed away. Oh, okay, now we're going to the Minish Cap. Alright, I guess they just had to get that little, It has been a while since I read this book. Yeah, they're back to the Minish Cap now in the Force era. I guess they needed to explain about the Temple of Time real quick. And that's only seen in Ocarina of Time, so it would make sense if they do it that way, so it's justified. It was then a tiny Picori descended from the sky, bringing a golden light and a sword. Using the sword, the hero of men sealed the evil beings away in the bound chest and brought peace to the world once again. The golden light was the Light Force. The Legend of the Light Force. The royal family and the Picori. After sealing away all evil beings, the royal family of Hyrule became the careful overseers of the sword, which became known as the Picori Blade. Furthermore, the royal family... Darn it. Now, I always get so trigger happy with the triggers. Furthermore, the royal family kept the existence of the land of Picori, the Minish realm, hidden. In gratitude to the Picori, the people held a Picori festival once a year. The sword fighting tournament and the Picori Blade. By the way, I always forget what... I always skip some Zelda games when I remember what I didn't play before. I don't know why, I just forget a couple, and one of them is the Minish Cap, and I do have a mission in my life to make sure I played every Zelda game. So far, I've played a good chunk of them. I'm missing... I've played all the Game Boy games, I've played, both the Wii games, the GameCube, I didn't play Majora's Mask, I have a copy. I'm going to get to that eventually. And I didn't play the DS games. I didn't play Minish Cap. I didn't get to play Four Swords, so I'm looking for that. It's hard to find that one. But I know, I'm sorry I keep going off on tangents. Let's keep going. Legend said that every 100 years, a secret door would open up and the Picori would pass through and enter the world of the humans. The customs of the Picori festival had continued for many, many years. Among them was a sword fighting tournament. The awards ceremony was held in front of the Picori Blade, and the only chance to see the blade. The sword fighting tournament's award ceremony. Vaati reborn in the Four Swords training. Princess Zelda. The Princess of Hyrule, said to have mysterious powers. Afraid Princess Zelda will get in his way, Vaati turns her into stone. Princess Zelda. That's her. There's Vaati in Toon Link form. Unexpected evil at the Picori Festival. For the 100th year of the Picori Festival, there was an unusually grand celebration. In the customary sword fighting tournament, an unknown man named Vaati was the victor. Vaati believed that the Light Force was in the bound chest. He broke the Picori blade to unseal the chest and found it did not contain the Light Force at all. The evil that had been sealed inside poured forth from the chest. Vaati turned Princess Zelda into stone and headed off in search of the Light Force. Secret of the Picori. The curse placed on Princess Zelda could only be broken with the sacred power of the Picori blade. The tribe of the Picori, also called the Minish, were the only ones able to fix the Picori blade. They could not only be seen by the children, Therefore, Smith, the great blacksmith, oh that's original, proposed that the king of Hyrule enlist the help of the young Link. The king told Link where the Minish dwelled. Then, with the broken Picori blade and the smith's sword in hand, Link set off in search of their land. Smith and Link. Smith is a blacksmith. Of course he is. And Link, his apprentice. This isn't the last time Link will be an apprentice to a blacksmith. He's also an apprentice to a blacksmith in Link Between Worlds for the 3DS. Smith makes an impressive sword that's given to the winner of the sword fighting tournament. Link and Princess Zelda are childhood friends who are both attended at the tournament. That's interesting. Sometimes Link has no... I always think that's interesting, and it does give a lot to Link's character, I think, because sometimes in some games he's just some nobody, just some nobody who, I mean, he's he's apprentice to the royal blacksmith, so of course he'll be well known, but it was also probably known to the royal family. Blacksmiths, depending on how big they are and who they make for, especially for knights or royalty, pretty well known around the parts. But I think that gives a lot to Link's character, whether he's known by the royal family or he's a warrior or he's just some nobody who got a sword one day and just wield the power of courage and whatnot. It's just something interesting, and I think that makes a lot of Links, even though they don't speak, it makes them a lot more of an individual, which I admire. The evil sorcerer Vaati. Originally the mid-stage Elzo's apprentice, Vaati courted the evil within the hearts of humans and eventually fulfilled his wish of becoming an evil sorcerer. Vaati believes that the life force is kept within the bound chest, sealed with the Picori blade. He takes part in his sword fighting tournament to get close to it. Vaati, a simple Minish. Meeting Eslo. I'm probably going to say Elzo a lot. Meeting Eslo. On his way to the Picori home in the Minish Woods, a young Link met Eslo, a man suffering from a curse. Link came to learn that Eslo had been a Minish sage and Vaati had been his apprentice. When Vaati put on the mage's cap made by Eslo, he gained powers and cursed Eslo by changing him into the shape of a cap. Poor guy. That is something I like. I like the little design that Link's hat is the Navi of this game. I think that's pretty cool. The Minish Village and the Four Elements. Feeling responsible for Vaati's actions, Eslo teamed up with Link and set off to the portal of to the Minish Village. The Minish were so tiny they could fit into the palm of the grown human's hand. When Link entered the portal, he shrank down to their size and gained entry to the Minish village in the woods. In order to break the curse on Zelda, Link needed to repair the Picori blade and use its sacred power. There were 4 elements hidden around the world that Link needed to obtain, and then place on the pedestal in the elemental sanctuary to restore the sacred power to the blade. I don't know what's going on. Usually pretty good at reading this stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm getting, I don't know. Probably a lot of practice. The 4 elements. The 4 elements are crystalline forms of the spiritual energy that exists in the world: earth, fire, water, and wind. In order for Link to collect all 4 elements, he must utilize specific items to accomplish his goal, some of which are similar to the ones used by heroes in the past. Gust Jar, Mole Mitts, that's cool. Vaati's tactics. Still on the quest to obtain the Life Force, Vaati took control of the King of Hyrule and had him order his soldiers to search for the Life Force. Vaati learned from the legend of the Wind Tribe that when the 4 elements were collected and placed in the elemental sanctuary, a holy sword would be born, and the path of the Life Force would be open. Knowing that Link was collecting the 4 elements, Vaati waited until a time when he could take the elements from Link. The Wind Tribe. The Wind Tribe originally lived on the land. After mastering the wind, they moved up from the palace in the sky. They live even higher than the clouds, and the winds carry news of everything to them. The land that they left behind became known as the Wind Ruins. They can ride the wind and travel back and forth between sky and land. Which won't be the last time we see people living in the sky. Nor was it this was the first. The Elemental Sanctuary. After collecting all 4 elements, Link placed them on the sacred pedestal. The Picori blade became infused with the sacred power and transformed into the Four Sword, which gave the wielder the ability to split into 4 identical copies of himself. Simultaneously, a door beyond the pedestal opened, revealing a legend that the Life Force dwelled within Princess Zelda, generation after generation. The Elemental Sanctuary. The Elemental Sanctuary is a sacred place that human adults are unable to see. The entrance is located within the garden of Hyrule Castle. It holds the pedestal of the 4 elements and contains the secret of the Light Force. I guess the Light Force like has innocence and children are innocent, that kind of stuff. It's good writing, you know what I mean? Vaati's Wrath. After Vaati followed Link and learned about the Light Force, he took Princess Zelda to the roof of the castle and little by little extracted what he could of the Light Force from her body in order to transform himself. Link stopped the ritual, but Vaati was still able to use the power of the Light Force to transform into Vaati's Wrath. Using the power of the Four Sword, Link destroyed Vaati's Wrath and broke the curses of Princess Zelda and Eslo. The Mage's Cap. The Mage's Cap was originally a gift for the humans made by the Minish named Eslo. It grants the wish of its wearer. The stronger the heart of the wearer, the greater the power the cap exhibits. The Mage's Cap. The battle between Link and Vadi's Wrath brought Hyrule Castle down around them. Eslo gave the Mage Cap to Princess Zelda, who, with the small amount of life force left within her, made a wish to restore Hyrule to its original condition. Not long after, the door to the Minish village began to close, and before shut, Eslo presented Link with a green cap and returns to the Minish village. Yeah, he doesn't have a cap in this game, but they gave it to him in the end, because, he's got to have his green hat. It's a trademark, What page are we up to? 82. 10 more pages. Okay. So now we're up to Four Swords Adventures. This is a game I really want to try. I have the Anniversary Edition downloaded on my 3DS. I didn't get for free in recent times this was uploaded. I got it a couple of years ago when I first got my 3DS. It was a nice promotion they did. I think it was for Zelda's 25th anniversary, if memory serves right. That's a fun game, and I really want to try a fuller version of that. And I want to get the GameCube game. That would be awesome. The seal is... sorry, I know I did about to start that. I love... I saw a Let's Play of it once. I love what they did with that, where they took the Game Boy Advance and used the link cable, and the Game Boy Advance was the controller, and you switched between the TV and the Game Boy Advance. That was such a brilliant idea, and I think they should do something like that again for the Wii U. And come on, put that on the eShop, man. That would be brilliant. Even if it's the 3DS, if you want to put a download on that one too. I mean, it should be on the Wii U. It's more appropriate there, but I would love that idea. I think it's brilliant. It's that kind of creative programming, clever idea using a certain peripheral that really work. That really is awesome. And I could play. I gotta find that game. I can play it. I still have my link cable on my Game Boy Advance. Sorry. Last episode, I was tongue-tied. Today, I'm tangent-y, if that's a word. The seal is broken. Peace was fleeting in Hyrule. Vadi, presumed dead, suddenly reappeared in terror of return to the land. Vadi occupied the Palace of Winds and kidnapped every beautiful young woman in Hyrule, one by one. This was when the hero, carrying the legendary Four Sword, appeared. Tapping into the sword's power, the hero's body split into four, and combined power of the heroes was enough to defeat Vadi. Vadi was sealed in the Four Sword and enshrined in the Elemental Sanctuary. Vadi the Wind Mage. Vadi, who has no memory of his life as a Picori, goes on a mindless rampage. With the ability to manipulate the wind, Vadi calls himself the Wind Mage and takes over the little Palace of Winds. The hero of the Four Sword. Not much is known about the origin of this hero, but it's possible that he's a descendant of Link, who defeated Vadi previously. Makes sense to me. The Resurrection of the Wind Mage. For generations, Princess Zelda and her descendants look after the sealed Four Sword, and the day came when the seal began to weaken. When Princess Zelda went to check on the seal, it broke. Vadi escaped his prison and kidnapped Zelda and took her into the Palace of Winds. The kidnapped Princess Zelda. Vadi kidnaps Princess Zelda to make her his bride in commemoration of his resurrection, not to obtain the Light Force. They just have to make that little note because he has no previous memories. One thing that gets me curious here is during this process of Vadi, I know the Light Force is more important to him. I know they want to do that but why isn't anyone bothering getting the Master Sword? Where's that? What's going on with that? It's like, I guess, yeah, the Sacred Realm's not. I know the justification is the Sacred Realm's not important at this point, but I don't know. It's kind of weird how they just ignore that the Bane of Evil's blade. I mean, I guess this is more appropriate, the Four Sword, which was the from the elemental thing. I'm thinking about this too deeply. It's a video game. The power of the Four Sword. Link witnessed the resurrection of the evil Vadi. Shortly after, a fairy appeared to Link and instructed him to draw the legendary Four Sword. As he did so, he split into four. The Great Fairy said that it could help Link get into the Palace of Winds, but he first had to prove his courage by defeating dangerous foes and collecting rupees. That's awesome. I would love this. Let's let this be the thumbnail here. That'd be a great thumbnail for this video. Of course, I never get good thumbnails. I mean, sometimes I do. I'll admit that, but the 4 heroes. We're still in the Force era. After the Lynx collected the rupees from the 3 regions protected by the 3 great fairies and earned the titles of Little Eggs, Brave Heroes, and finally the Greatest of Heroes, the Lynx were given the keys to the Palace of Winds, now known as Vadi's Palace. After earning the keys, Vadi's Palace appeared to the 4 Lynx to set off to confront the Wind Mage. It's making me think now, is the Anniversary Edition on the 3DS of the same game as 4 Swords? Because that's kind of weird, because that's exactly what's going on when I played the game, and that was a really short game, you know. I mean, I guess it's not meant to be long. It's a Game Boy game, granted, but I don't know. Usually, even the Game Boy games have a lot more meat on its bones than the game I played. You know, whatever. That'd be great, honestly, if it is. It's one thing to put on my checklist, but regardless, I would still want to get the original version of the game. I think it's important to play every game, even if you have the Hyrule Historia. They give you the answers. You know, it's the Legend of Zelda series is something very unique and special, and so many games have been so inspired by it, and so many people just love, including me, just love the games and what entails within them, both in this world and within the universe. It's awesome. The 3 Great Fairies. The Great Fairy of Forests protects the regions known as the Sea of Trees. The Great Fairy of Ice protects the Talos Cave. The Great Fairy of Flame protects Death Mountain. The Palace of the Wind reappears. Yeah, it's definitely the final boss, I thought. The 4 Lynx confronted Vadi in the depths of the palace. Using their combined power, the 4 Lynx attacked Vadi, defeated him, and rescued Princess Zelda. Vadi was again sealed into the 4th Sword, and the 4th Sword was returned to its proper place in the pedestal. With the power of the 4th Sword once again dormant, the 4 Lynx merged back into a single body. Princess Zelda and the people of Hyrule again kept a strict watch over the seal. And that's all they do these days. Yeah, this is definitely the hub world I played in the 3DS version. In the 3DS download, I should say. The regions were protected by 3 great fairies. The regions protected by the 3 great fairies are the dense forest area area called the Sea of Trees, the frozen Talos Cave, and the volcanic Death Mountain. And then the sky will appear in the top right corner. Yeah, I guess I did play the game. I got to do more research on that. Hyrule Kingdom in Chaos. Uh-oh. The hero... Now we're in the era of the Hero of Time. Everything from the past within the Hyrule universe will be forgotten. This is the pinnacle. I mean, this isn't only the pinnacle of the Legend of Zelda series, because you gotta remember, back in my day when I was a youngin', I can't believe how many times I say that these days. Back in my day, when I was a kid, let's go with that. When I was a kid, 3D games were the big deal. Like, it's nothing now, you know. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. I mean, 2D games are so cool. I mean, nowadays, I love the balance between 2D and 3D. Because during my days with the N64, I found that, and it makes sense, you know, in a business sense, because 3D games made the money. But I'm glad they found a balance last generation and this generation, because the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox era were pretty heavy in the 3D games too. I'm glad they found a balance between 2D and 3D, and I especially love games that flip between them. That's why I've been enjoying the Sonic Colors and Generations and Sonic Lost Worlds, because I love that idea of flipping, even though I don't like the 2D sections on Lost Worlds that much, to be honest. I love the idea of platforming games flip between 2D and 3D. I love the idea of Super Paper Mario. I'm looking to get my game library right now. It's right there behind my computer screen. Ah, darn it. I really don't realize how much time. I really gotta pay more attention to how much time it's gonna take. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm playing this by ear here. I'm just being honest. We're gonna have to end it here. I don't want this thing going over like 30, a half hour really. I want to be around a half hour, because the last time I read this, the physical copy, and I really was no choice of my own. I just had to be that way things would be 40 minutes, a lot longer. I just want things to stay around a half hour. I hope you guys are okay with that. Hey, we get to start off from really cool. Whoopsies. We get to start off in a really cool. I love the trigger thing. It's nice, and I can be zoomed in anywhere because with the D-pad I have to, or the analog stick I have to like move it a certain way. So yeah, next time, guys, we're to start with the era of the Hero of Time, which begins at Ocarina of Time. And we're going to learn about how Hyrule Kingdom was in chaos. That's not good. So once again, guys, thank you for joining me. This has been a good second read-through, if I may. I know I said I want to be around a half hour, but I got a couple minutes. I just want to say that so far this read-through, the second read-through, has been very nice. It's been very interesting, and I'm reading a couple things I missed. Maybe my mind drifted in and out in places. Sometimes when you're reading things, I prefer to read things in my mind, honestly, because it keeps me more focused. Sometimes I feel like if I read aloud, I start focusing more on making sure I get my point, the words across, than actually letting it absorb. I mean, there's a lot to take in with the Zelda, with all the information in this book. But I really admire. I'm really liking the second read-through. I think it was very nice. I'm really glad I did it. If the digital version never existed, eventually I would have just picked up the book again. And unfortunately, I wouldn't have put it on YouTube. Which I'm glad the digital version's here. It was worth the buy. This is really excellent. So yes, thank you guys for joining me again. If you like to see more on my upload, on when I upload, or see follow me or something, you can check out my Facebook and Twitter. Please like, rate, comment, and if you haven't, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And thank you all so much for watching. I've been Billy, your video game analyzer. Have a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you next time. Just to clarify, I was doing a little. I was just messing around a little bit. I realized why my capture card goes on the fritz like that. It's not because it's overheating. It's because it keeps jiggling around the USB port. So because of that, I'm just gonna find a way to make my USB more leveled. And yeah, I'll keep it on the best quality. I'll experiment all I can for you guys. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.